I'm tired of the lies they spin. They're feeding us poison, where do I begin? Every headline feels like a sin. Oh, it's a game we're stuck in, can't win. Barack signed the papers, gave them the key. NDAA took our truth, can't you see? Smithman's shadow, it's haunting me. Propaganda flows like a dark raging sea. They twist the words, make us blind. Realities are lost in their cruel grind. Who's telling the truth? Man, it's hard to find. In this media maze, we're all confined. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day. I'm screaming loud, but no one hears. Drowning in cycles of our own fears. The truth's a ghost, shedding bitter tears. Oh, the anger rises, it's been years. So I'll sing my blues, let the world know. Fight for the truth, let the fire grow. We're breaking the chains, it's time to show. We won't be silenced, we'll steal the show. In the silence, hear the cries, voices echo, breaking tide. Every tear, a story untold. In the ashes, we rise bold. No more whispers, we'll shout loud. Together strong, we're a fierce crowd. With every step, we take the stand, fighting for truth. Hand in hand, let the walls shake, let the truth ring. We'll write the lyrics, let freedom sing. From the shadows, we'll break away. In this moment, we'll seize the day. We're rising up, can't take no more. Truth on our lips, it's time to roar. No more shadows, we'll break free. With every heartbeat, we'll make them see. Together we'll stand united and bold. No more lies, let the story be told. In this fight for truth, we'll find our way. We'll light the dark, bring a brand new day.
Yeah. You don't get to look away anymore. Not after what we've seen. Not after what we know. Can't sugarcoat evil, I refuse to disguise. Truth hit different when you look in their eyes. Little shoes on the staircase cold. Teddy bear stories that were never told. Paper trails buried deep in the vault. Everyone pointing fingers, not my fault. Money moves quiet, power moves slick. Smiles on TV while the system's sick. High walls, black cars, tinted glass. Closed door meetings, let the scandals pass. You say conspiracy to silence the room, but the victims ain't theories, they carry the wounds. We were distracted, divided by noise, arguing headlines, girls and boys. Meanwhile predators leverage position, protected by status, wealth and tradition. If justice blind, who tied the cloth? Who benefits most when the truth gets lost? If power's clean, then why the fear? When sealed up pages start coming near.
Wake up, no more shadows, no more silence, no more halos. You can't hide behind the fame. If you fed the fire, you share the flame. Wake up, hear that sound, that's the truth breaking ground. For every child who lost their life, we stand up, we fight tonight.
400,000 missing a year. Tell me why the number don't trigger fear. Why the outrage fade in a week? Why the strong stay silent when the small can't speak? Institutions polished in gold, preaching mercy but the record's cold. If you knew and turned away, Silence made you complicit that day. Not left, not right, this ain't a side. Evil don't care about party lines. It's about power abused in dark. About stolen futures before they start. Ballrooms, back rooms, private flights, handshakes hidden from public sights. If your wealth was built on pain, history gon' carve your name. Truth don't die, it waits its turn. Every lie got a fuse that burns. When it sparks, don't act surprised. We warned you once, we're done being quiet.
Wake up, no more shadows, no more silence, no more halos. You can't hide behind the fame. If you fed the fire, you share the flame. Wake up, hear that cry, that's a child asking why. For every tear that fell unseen, we breaking chains, we intervene.
Don't call it hate when we call out wrong. Protecting children ain't extreme, it's strong. You uncomfortable, good, sit with it. Truth ain't gentle when it's explicit. If the stage was bright, but the deals were dark. If the laughter masked a predator's mark. If you profited off the broken and small, the reckoning coming for one and all. No more heroes called from lies. No more idols we idolize. Character measured by what you defend, not the image you try to send. This ain't vengeance, this is guard duty. Standing 10 toes for human dignity. If you righteous, then stand with us. If you guilty, start feeling the rush because the tide turning. You feel that shift. No more shielding, the powerful click. Every child worth more than gold, and we the generation bold.
Hold the line, protect the young. No more deals behind closed doors done. If we the people, prove it now. Not someday later, not somehow. Love ain't passive, faith ain't blind. Justice free quiet, it's a spy. Wake up, no more shadows, no more silence, no more halos. We see through the polished lies, truth reflected in our eyes. Wake up, hear that sound, that's the system shaking down. For every child who lost their life, we stand up, we fight tonight. We stand up, we fight tonight. We stand up.
Yeah.
In the shadows of the night, when the world turns dark, I'm the one who lights the way, like a beacon that won't spark. Through the storms of life, I hold you tight, believing in you until the very end of sight. In every tear, in every laugh, I'm there to catch you. Through the pain, through the joy, I'm right by your side without a doubt. I see you, more than just a shadow in the light. Open your heart's door and let love start to ignite. I see you standing tall, even when you fall. And I see you rising up, stronger than before, never small. When the world tells you to give up and you feel lost, I'm the voice that whispers, keep pushing, don't be crossed. In the quiet moments, when your spirit feels so low, I'm the one who lifts you up, like a gentle healing glow. And the night feels endless and you can't see the dawn, I'll be your whisper, guiding you along. With every heartbeat, I'll remind you of your strength. Together we'll rise up, going any length. So take my hand, let the worries fade away, and will light the path. Side by side we'll conquer all that life has. I see you, more than just a reflection in the mirror. Open your heart's door and let love start to grow. I see you standing strong even when you fall, and I see you rising up stronger than before, never small. I see you, more than just a dream in the night. Open your heart's door and let love start to ignite. I see you standing tall even when you fall, and I see you rising up stronger than before, never small.
Monday morning coffee just isn't the same. All the protests in the world are making it lame. Well, I found the cure to that. It's green and marijuana is its name. Feeling kinda low, it could chase away your shame. Sunshine on my face, dancing in the rain. Friends gather round, let's forget the pain. Rolling up a vibe, let's ignite the flame. Laughing like a wild, nothing feels the same. Green dreams, we're living in a game. Life's a celebration, we're calling your name. Feel the rhythm flow, we'll never be tame. In this crazy world, love is our aim. Oh, 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 hey. Oh, 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 hey. Oh, 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 hey. Oh. Monday morning coffee just isn't the same. All the protests in the world are making it lame. Well, I found the cure to that. It's green and marijuana is its name. In the rhythm of the night we'll dance without blame. So let the music play, let's ride this train. Every single laugh, every drop of rain. In the joy of now, we'll never feel shame. With a little green magic, we'll light up the game. So let's take a moment, breathe in the air. Forget all the worries, leave behind despair. With every heartbeat, let the good vibes flow. In this dance of freedom, we'll let our spirits glow. No more looking back, just the laughter we share. In a world full of chaos, we'll find our own flair. Raise a bomb to the night, let's get toasted and see dreams. With love in our hearts, we'll be bursting at the seams. Green dream, dream, we're living in a game. Life's a celebration, we're calling your name. Feel the rhythm flow, we'll never be tame. In this crazy world, love is our aim. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, oh,
I met an old man down in Tennessee. Coffee black as midnight, eyes like history. He slid a napkin across that weathered bar. Said, boy, you ever wonder who we really are? He spoke of shadows moving behind the curtain. The world's so loud, nobody's certain. Said the truth don't scream, it waits in silence, buried beneath distraction, fear and violence. He said every empire falls the very same. Greed gets baptized in a different name. And the jukebox stopped
like heaven held its breath as he whispered low. Sometimes the craziest story is the one closest to the truth.
So we follow the drops through the dead of night, through broken headlines and flickering lights. Regular people trying to connect the lines, while the whole wide world said we lost our minds. But if even half of it's true, Lord, help us all, 'cause kingdoms would tremble and giants would fall, and every soul who searched through the storm and the doubt would realize what this fight was really about.
Mama used to tell me when I was young, the devil don't arrive with a forky tongue. No, he smiles on screens, dressed sharp and clean, selling fear between commercials and HD. And people laughed at the questions I asked, said truth seekers lived in the past. But history's written by trembling hands and buried by powerful, desperate men. The old man grinned through the smoke and flames, said, son, not everybody playing this game wears a badge or waves a flag. Some just pray this country survives what it had. And so we follow the drops through the dead of night, through coded words and satellite lights. Farmers, truckers, veterans, moms, trying to make sense of what the hell went wrong. And if all of it's true, Lord, ring the bell, 'cause we've been walking through the mouth of hell. But maybe the reason the darkness got loud is 'cause the truth's finally drawing a crowd. You can call them crazy, you can call them fools, but history's full of people mocked right before the truth broke through. And maybe, just maybe, the real story of our time was never about left or right. Maybe it was about ordinary people refusing to stop asking questions. Yeah, we follow the drops through the cold unknown, while the lost and abandoned search for home. And maybe we were wrong, or maybe we could see that freedom dies slow when good men fear what truth might be. So light one more candle and hold the line tonight, 'cause somewhere in the darkness people still believe in light.
I used to sit beneath neon skies, build kingdoms in my mind at night, talked real big to an empty room, like somehow dreams alone break through. I wanted gold without the grind, wanted peace without the time, wanted harvest from barren ground, but never stayed when the sun went down. And life whispered soft one day, boy, there's a price for every way. 'Cause the wanting dreams are smoke in the wind. They burn bright, but they never begin. Like castles made from restless air, gone the second reality's there. But real manifestation grows slow like seeds, buried deep where nobody sees. Through the rain, through the pain, through unseen needs. One's just fantasy, and one becomes destiny. Smoke or seed. I've seen men chase a hollow crown, lose their soul just to feel profound. Talk about changing all mankind while their own home falls behind. And I've seen old hands split rough pine, quiet strength in their weathered eyes. No applause and no grand parade, just faithful work every single day. And somewhere between faith and scars is where we truly become who we are. 'Cause the wanting dreams are smoke in the wind. They burn bright, but they never begin. Like shadows dancing on bedroom walls, beautiful, but they never stand tall. But real manifestation grows slow like seeds, roots digging deep through adversity. Through the dark, through the way, through uncertainty. One fades helplessly, and one becomes reality. Smoke or seed. So if I dream, let it move my feet. Let conviction rise inside of me. Not escape, not vanity, but truth becoming what I choose to be. And if heaven's listening tonight, don't give me comfort without the fight. Give me courage to endure the climb. Wisdom enough to recognize that a wanting dreams are smoke in the wind, a temporary place to pretend. But real manifestation lives in scars, in calloused hands and faithful hearts. It's waking up when hope feels weak, still planting fields you may never see. Believing light can still break free. That's the difference between fantasy and living what you're meant to be. Smoke or seed. Yeah, the smoke drifts away in time. No time for rest, but the sea become a forest.
That was this morning's project. That song actually, I gotta talk about it for a minute, because sometimes it happens in the spur of a moment, and sometimes it can take a few hours. Sometimes it can take a couple of years to write a song. And smoke or seeds is basically, it came to mind while I was on the phone with Auntie Well this morning. And the thoughts started running through my mind. The lyrics started running through my mind. And she was talking to me about 4 different things. And I was hearing everything that she was saying, but at the same time, the wheels were turning, the wheels were turning, the wheels were turning. And yeah, it took me about 3 hours to do that. And I love this graphic. I was like, I went to ChatGPT. I said to her, I said, all right, this is my song, and this is what the tempo of music is. I said, we're going to work on these images. And so I loaded a couple of my pictures in, and, you know, this is the artwork that you've been seeing lately has been created by ChatGPT. I give it 100% credit. You know, I don't give the credit to Sam Altman. I would rather give that credit to Elon. He wanted this ChatGPT to be a free thing. He didn't want it to be a charged thing. He wanted it to be, he didn't want it to be a for profit thing, and I really like that concept because so much great creativity can come out of AI. If it's handled properly, and I've said this before, there's a lot of bad about AI, what you can make somebody do, what you can make somebody say. Okay. But there are a lot of fun things about it, that actually work out well. And when I look at the AI and I look at the music that I've been creating with you guys and for you guys, is a replacement to the radio, is a replacement to buying the records or buying the CDs, or even paying for concerts. Okay. Because those people aren't real. .9% of those people are not living the life that they should be and are not performing the kind of music that they should be. And that's one of the reasons why I like doing the AI thing, is because of the fact that I can take my lyrics and put it to music and then just come up with the proper imagery and the perfect song for it. Every song has got a story behind it, and it's this morning it was thinking about dreams. Okay. The dreams that we have. Okay. That the dreams that we picture in our heads, the daydreaming kind of thing, where instead of sitting in a classroom, you're in a castle fighting a dragon, kind of thing. Between the dreams that are smoke and the seeds of manifestation, the purpose of plants, roots, because the roots are what makes it strong, what makes it have an ability to succeed. Why did Christ refer to the mustard seed? Well, he referred to it because once the roots of the mustard plant get into the ground, they're the most grounded and strong roots of any plant. The abilities, the capabilities are tremendous in what we are capable of doing. And yeah. Yeah, StreamYard, you're going to have to wait. Okay. When I got money, you'll get money. And you'll just have to wait. Yeah. It's that time of the month again where they all start hitting you one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. Drives me nuts. And that's why I hate these devices, because like when I'm live, I hate for it to ding. It's distracting, and I don't like the distraction. That's why the puppy is in the kennel. Okay, I was trying to smoke a bowl before, and I had the puppy up here on the table for a couple of minutes, and his tail kept putting out the flame. Okay, his tail just wagging back and forth, kept putting out the flame. Yeah. So we got some news to kind of go through, and and we're also going to check on what is brand new as well. But what I wanted to do first was I wanted to go here. All right, there's only seven drops for today. All right, on May 26, 2020, this article was put up by Q in regards to Australian researchers see virus design manipulation. I have no idea how to make you go away. How do I make you go away? Go away. Why put an article up if nobody can read it? Yeah. An article that we can't read. Here, view offer now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I viewed the offer. Now give me back to the story. Fucking assholes. I'm sorry. This is annoying the shit out of me. Block element. That's the element I want blocked right there. That's good enough, I think. No, there's another element there somewhere. So block it. How many freaking elements are there? There we go. Okay. And there's still something stopping me from. What the heck? Oh, there goes there. Oh, you suck. You just suck. Reload. No, that's not going to work either. What the heck with you? Oh, the hell with it. Well, anyways, so there's an article associated with that one. Okay, in regards to virus manipulation. Okay. All right. But then 4326 is we're in for one hell of a show. And this is today. This is today's deltas. Okay. All right. 4325. Democrats in coordination with Democrat Party and foreign assets have launched, as known, a full-scale insurgency attack against the people of the United States in an effort to regain power by any means necessary. All assets deployed. Kill brackets, current landscape. Okay, that's basically what we're seeing. Okay, like what's going on in Chicago, at the ICE facility, and Portland, and stuff going on in Los Angeles. Kind of like all over the place, right? You know what I'm saying? All right, it's kind of all over the place. All right, current landscape coordinated and deliberate events to impact rig primary election. Now, what have we seen? We've seen a lot of attempted distractions and everything else in regards to this primary that's going on right now. Okay, and then we've heard that that the the gerrymandering court things are also trying to interfere with some of these primaries coming out and coming down the way that they should, so on and so forth, right? And then on top of that, we have a war going on, right? Okay, not only do we have our situation with Iran and trying to force a deal there, but we also have the Ukraine and Russian thing, which I believe that they're still in a ceasefire pattern. Which if this is the case, this is great. Okay. But you know, again, the future of our republic is at stake, and basically right now is it's a fact. Survival as a nation. Okay. We rise or we die. Okay. You know, and that comes in a couple of different ways. Okay, either we rise to the occasion, okay, and fight this battle from all fronts that we possibly can. It doesn't mean we need to be out there with a rifle shooting and killing people, but our voices do matter. Our voices do lend critical thinking abilities to a conversation. Okay, and that is very important. All right, and then we the people, and this is the thing, is it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, Libertarian, Partitarian, whatever. When we the people unite, there is no stopping us. They can take down a few, but they can't get us all. I mean, look at what they're doing in Canada right now. All right. Poor guy gets pulled over. Okay. And the officer decides that he's going to have a psychiatrist talk to the guy right there on the side of the road. The guy makes one comment to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist says that the guy is certified. You need to take him into custody and force him into a psychological evaluation. That's what's going on in Canada right now, and I'm going to show you proof of that because I got a couple of videos today that are going to show it to you. Okay, his entire interaction. He didn't turn off his camera. Okay. And then we got the Twitter sphere. Let's see if Lila Grace is still active. And it says, breaking. Multiple Planned Parenthood officials have admitted under oath to trafficking body parts and organs of babies they slaughtered. These are criminal facts. Okay. And it leads to an entire article. Okay. And this is the thing. These people committed criminal acts and they still have not been held accountable. It's not just them politicians in Washington that have been stealing from us our entire fucking lives. Okay. It is people like this that have run organizations that have taken your children's lives. Sorry, I'm just getting a little excited for a second there. I apologize. You know, it's just fucking sick. Sick. You know, and the thing is I grew up around women who got pregnant, girls who got pregnant and did everything that they could to miscarry. They didn't care about the life that they carried inside. All they cared about was themselves. I'm too young to be fat from being pregnant. Maybe you're too young to be having sex. Do you ever think of that? You know, one of my favorite blues singers of all times, soulful singer, a lady by the name of Betty Wright. Okay. Did a song called No Pain, No Gain. And it's talking about this old woman sitting under a tree, you know, and you know, she called this girl over and said, you know, I want to have a conversation with you, you know. And what she told her was that you didn't need to show your peak to every guy you meet. I always thought, why would she call that a peak? But the message was clear. What she was telling them, you know, sometimes flowers means they just want to be friends, you know, and sometimes it's something more. But you have to be mature enough to understand the difference. And these kids today, you know, they don't think about the consequences. They're not thinking about accountability because they're not seeing any accountability in our society right now. So these teenagers are going batshit crazy all over the fucking country. And they're getting away with it because nobody is being held accountable for nothing. There's a certain point where we, the people, have to unite and say enough is enough. You're not controlling our narrative anymore. And for us to stop dreaming about the things that we want and instead begin to be able to manifest them. Smoke or seeds. Just saying. Smoke or seeds. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So 4323 leads us to an account that has been suspended. So we won't be going there. 3349 takes us to ask yourself a very simple question. Why would the fake news media expend this amount of time and resources attempting, attempt or discredit cast as conspiracy LARP? This movement that we belong to, if it did not pose a significant threat, danger, in kill brackets, you attack those who threaten you the most. Logical thinking. Logical thinking. All right. And then we got 3348. Japan, public. China, non-public. South Korea, non-public. Well, non-public what? And this is also from a suspended account. And let's go to the time machine. Wayback. I'm sorry, the Wayback Machine. That's what it is. Paste. This page is where is it? Why would you say you have them all if you don't? Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thanks, guys. Thanks. You don't see, you don't really have it. Yeah. Okay. Well, but we're hearing a lot about Japan, and we're hearing a lot about China, and we've been hearing stories about some creepy shit going on in South Korea. Some creepy deaky things. Creepy deaky things, I said. I said it. All right, Chris Mathis. It's the AA Matthias. I have no idea how to say that. Check this out. Hoover Dam launches Road to America 250. This flag is the length of a football field and will be on display every day through the 4th of July. Now, what do we know about the Hoover Dam? What used to be at the Hoover Dam that is no longer there? Wasn't there? Remember, there used to be something right here. There was a statue right here, and then there were a couple of statues over on the sides. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And then Mondami begins. New York City mayor unveils plan to transfer ownership from landlords to communities.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers. And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards. Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits,
Yeah. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to steal somebody's hard-earned money, property, and give it away to people that, because their NGO is no longer getting money from the federal government, going to give it to these NGOs so that they can turn around and go out and get loans on them. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
or even the tenants themselves.
How about more? You got one bit. Not one bit.
When necessary, we will.
Yeah. Mondami, I think you're a fucking liar. And I don't think that you can do anything that you said that you were going to do before you were elected. I see you doing everything the exact opposite. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. All right.
So here, as evidence in her own social media post, Karen Bass has violated the law by soliciting votes, holding signs, asking voters to vote for her, describing the qualifications process of casting a ballot, and engaging in blatant electioneering directly near a polling place and drop box location due to the fact that ballots are already being cast during early voting. Election day should be broadly construed here. Indeed, it isn't just a matter of Karen Bass being too close, but rather that she shows herself and others directly submitting her ballots into the drop boxes while electioneering, soliciting votes, and promoting such activity all over social media. Such clear violations of electioneering restrictions show a reckless disregard for the rule of law and an apparent belief that she need not comply with the relevant restrictions that apply to all other candidates. This sort of activity in such close proximity to voters has the potential to intimidate and improperly influence voters, which is exactly why these laws and restrictions are in place to begin with. What good are these provisions if not enforced? Angelenos deserve better, and we respectfully insist that you not only investigate these clear violations of the law, but prosecute these infractions to the fullest degree.
We're on the countdown. On the countdown. Just one more week. One more week. Let me just thank you so much for all of your support. I know you have been walking precincts. You've been making phone calls. You've been over there at the headquarters because we're gonna bring this to home base and win, right? I even have the babies on my side. Babies for Bass. All right. You're never too young. Hi, Joy. Thank you. Babies for Bass. One more vote to win. One more vote to win. All right. There you go. Done. Well, I have to say that you should vote today. Fill out your ballot, hand it to your postal worker, or come to a voting box like this. We have a few days left in this election, and we are going to take it to victory.
Yep. It's getting there. It's getting there. All right. And then let's take a listen.
In Escondido, an Army veteran known for his large Trump displays and American flags outside his home has died.
He was brutally attacked last week, with the suspect allegedly beating him and then stomping on his head before a witness stepped in. Our Sarah Barker spoke with the victim's wife and has more.
Right now, I don't know what I don't can say anything, only I feel a lot of pain in my heart. That's it.
Maria Sharon dealing with the heartbreaking loss of her husband, Kerry Sharon, a 69-year-old Army veteran.
Kerry was a Trump supporter, but he was a patriot first. And he was a strong believer in freedom of speech. And when people would approach him and give him any guff over his opinions, he didn't let it get under his skin. He would just say they're entitled to their free speech just like I am.
Kerry died from his injuries Sunday night after being attacked last week outside of his Escondido home. Known for its large American flag displays and supporting President Donald Trump.
If you don't agree, it doesn't give you the right to vandalize or do violence, and that goes both sides. Thank you. There's too much violence, so it's just... It's a sad day.
God bless Kerry. God bless Maria.
Now friends and neighbors are standing outside of his home, just as he would be doing this Memorial Day weekend.
Used to see him every morning when I go pick up grandkids. And I would stop by on the way back and talk to him sometimes.
We've had people drive by, lots of support.
And then there's a few that drive by like they act like they're going to run into you and they're flipping you off or they're wailing on the horn all angry. And that needs to stop. It needs to stop. You can have a different belief, but you don't have to threaten people, intimidate people.
Even as Maria goes through the pain of losing her husband, she says she feels bad for the suspect's family.
I feeling bad for the mother, you know, for the guy who do that, because for him too, because I ruined his life. Have a kid, have a girlfriend, have a mom. I'm feeling bad for her, but the stuff he do with my husband is terrible.
The suspect, 32-year-old Thomas Butler, pleaded not guilty in court on Friday when he faced charges of attempted murder.
Only want to say thank you for us, a sponsor, and all my friends coming, and thank you very much.
I reached out to the district attorney's office to see if any of the suspect's charges will be changed now that the victim has died. We haven't heard back yet, but courts are closed for the Memorial Day holiday. Meantime, I had a chance to talk with more members of the victim's family, and they have started a GoFundMe to help support his wife. One thing she says she's worried about is making sure she can keep the home that they've lived in as he was the breadwinner. We have a link to that GoFundMe up on our website. Just click the Scene On tab. Reporting from Escondido, I'm Zara Barker.
Yeah. So, you know, this guy, huge Trump supporter, and that's what comes out of it, you know. So, spiritual street fighter 17, President Trump just posted my meme, Game Over Deep State, with a big Q in the background and a Q plus on his right collar. And I'm not even wasting my time over on True Social anymore. I get absolutely no engagement over there whatsoever. I only see like the same 10 people posting over there. I mean, if I want to find something that Donald Trump has said, then yeah, that's where I do go to look. But it's I don't even bother. It's people over there are just yeah, it's like there's no traffic, no real traffic, you know, and I don't see any type of debates or alternative opinions or views or anything going up over there. So, yeah, I don't see a point in paying for a service that. It's like I don't use it anymore. It's not even worth it. It's really not. So, batshit bonkers Britain. Let's take you over to the other side of the pond for a little bit, just for a minute or two. Here we go.
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers Britain, where it's all go for the ginger dwarf from the north, Nicola Sturgeon, whose husband has just pled guilty to embezzlement stealing of £400,000 from the Scottish National Party. And he didn't even spend it on really fun stuff like drugs or parties or, you know, great stuff in Vegas. He spent it on salt and pepper shakers, some pens and a camper van. And the question is, how did Nicola Sturgeon not know? I mean, I know us women are brilliant at hiding parcels from our husbands, but was she too busy being a lesbian to look? These are the questions that need to be answered. In other news, over in the southeast, we're busy in our rush to become a third world country, and we've actually run out of water on one of the hottest weekends of the year. Yes, homeowners in Kent had no water at all, thanks to Southeast Water. One thing's for certain, they're very good at making a profit, £18 million in the 6 months up to September 2025, but not so great at actually supplying water to the homeowners who are actually paying for it. And finally, 2 brave girls who were raped by boys aged 14 and 15 put themselves through the ordeal of court only to see those boys get away unpunished. The judge said he didn't want to make them into villains at such an early age. Well, they did that to themselves, didn't they, at the point they decided to rape children and then film themselves doing it. If you act like a feral human, then you should be treated like a feral human and you should be locked up and do time. And as for their mothers crying in court, I know that we can't all be responsible for everything that our children do. But if that was my children, I'd want them locked up to be punished and to show other kids that that sort of behavior is frankly disgusting and despicable. So you can save your tears and demand that your boys be punished as well. Well done to those brave girls for speaking out and for enduring all of this. You hang in there, girlies. This is batshit bonkers Britain.
She is fucking crazy. She is. There's no doubt in my mind to it. She is fucking crazy. Okay. But she's a good kind of crazy. Just saying. There's a good kind of crazy and there's a not so good crazy. And the not so good crazy generally leads to a really not good crazy. And a really good not crazy, well, we don't even want to go there. I don't even want to think about it because that would just make me fucking crazy. Yeah. Like safety meeting kind of crazy. All right. You know what I'm saying? Safety meeting kind of crazy. Yeah. All right. So what's next? Because I want to get into some live news at the same time here in just a little bit. So it brings back that question which started the podcast today. Is it just smoke? Or are we, in fact, planting seeds? Right? Because, you know, there are seeds of doubt. And there are seeds of truth. There's seeds of education. There's seeds of love. Seeds from the Gospels. But there ain't no seeds in my weed. Yeah. I can say that. Yeah. All right. So, Eric Daughtry. Here we go. Put this up. Let's see.
Forces launching what CENTCOM is calling self-defense strikes, hitting boats and missile sites in southern Iran. CENTCOM taking defensive action to keep U.S. troops out of harm's way, while President Trump's negotiating team appears positive that they are moving closer to finalizing a peace deal. Meanwhile, Fox can confirm that the president will host his cabinet at Camp David tomorrow for a high-level meeting. Though the White House confirmed the gathering, no additional details have been offered, and we will bring you any information as soon as things come in.
Now, let's go to the dreams part of my opening question. You know, I've had some dreams that have been very prolific and all of which came true. But I did have one last night that I don't want to come true. And when I saw the news that he was announcing that he was going to Camp David, I could only think of the news report that I saw in my dream of something happening at Camp David. Not to him, but to somebody else. So I'm like, it was, and the thing is it's like I try to pluck the name out from what I saw in the dream, but I can't grab the name. That annoys the shit out of me. That really does. And it was like, that was the first thing that I was like searching my brain for when I first woke up, you know, from the dream. And I was like, the name, give me the name, give me the name, give me the name. Give me the name. Yeah. All right. Donald Trump put this out this morning. Just finished my 6-month physical at Walter Reed Military Medical Center. Everything checked out perfectly. Thank you for the great doctors and staff. Heading back to the White House, President TJT. Yeah. Yeah. Checked out perfectly. I didn't say it, he said it. Okay. I just was reading what he said. All right. These rioters have obstructed law enforcement operations, a felony and a crime. Local police have refused to answer calls to help our law enforcement. We will not allow violent rioters to slow IceGov down. Law and order will be restored.
McAdams, she's live right now outside Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, where those protesters there, Lexus, have been facing off with some of the ICE agents. What's happening?
That's right. Well, it has been going on for a few days, and then it happened again this morning, and it's happening again throughout the afternoon. So we're just going to move in on a little bit and show you what's going on out here. You can see that they've got the protesters that are sitting here, and I thought it was important to point out a lot of them actually had their faces kind of covered, but the big deal here, right, in New Jersey is that these people don't think ICE agents should be able to cover their faces. So that's one thing, but they're facing off with these ICE officers who are trying to do their job, Sandra, because they believe that this detention facility here, Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey, should be shut down. They say it's because the migrants inside of the facility are not being treated right. So that's why they're out here. That's why they're positioned here with their goggles on, ready to be tear gassed or pepper sprayed, they say, if possible. So pointing it out, obviously we covered what happened on the ground in Minneapolis. We covered that in Minnesota. We covered a little bit of what happened in Broadview, Illinois, outside of Chicago. That's a more similar setup to what happened here. So they have not as big of crowds, but the people do come prepared. And one of the other things, Sandra, that was important to point out on video that we saw yesterday on social media was they kind of stop all these cars that are coming and going, and the protesters are trying to act as security in those videos, asking them who's in the car, and then they decide if they're going to let you through or not. And then here you can see some media, but they are blocking the roadway, and this backs up a huge road that's right off the highway, so it really could cause a lot of problems here. So we'll keep an eye on it. But the governor of New Jersey was out here celebrating Memorial Day by demanding that the migrant criminals inside be released because she says they're on a hunger strike. So we'll keep an eye on it, Sandra.
Yep. So this is just one of the scenes of many. This one was really funny. I'll tell you why in a minute.
We're opening.
They work here. That's racist. They just assume. Yeah, they just assume that they got very racist.
We're opening.
Yeah. So the protesters, two brown guys just walked out of ICE's Newark facility, and lefties started cheering, only to find out that they work there. They work here, dumbasses. Yeah. These guys got a laugh out of it. Yes, they did. They got a little bit of funny, So Trump put this one back up again. This is the second time that he's posted this. If Iran surrenders, admits their navy is gone and resting at the bottom of the sea, and their air force is no longer with us, and if their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons dropped and hands held high, each shouting, I surrender, while wildly waving the representative white flag, and if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender and admit their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times and Wall Street Journal, corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all the other members of the fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory over the United States of America. It wasn't even close. The Democrats and the media have totally lost their way. They have gone absolutely crazy. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. Enemy of the people is right. Yeah. All right. And then we got 47 seconds of Benny Johnson with Ken Paxton. Here we go.
I don't understand. It's
And how are you? Good morning.
Oh, good morning. Great day in Texas. And you're right. It did create a little consternation in the Senate, didn't it? That little endorsement from Donald Trump.
It was amazing to follow these man children. I just can't believe it. Like how these grown men who are in their 70s and 80s can have their feelings hurt so much. It's like, do you think you were appointed for life? Do you think this is some kind of kingship or lordship?
Well,
why do they act like that?
Well, I don't understand. It's such a mentality to think that they should control Texas, that we up in Washington tell you, Texas, how to vote. We do it with our money by having special rules for incumbents, and we do it by telling the president who we should endorse. And it's this mentality that they should decide, not Texas. I don't get it. It's a weird mentality.
Yes.
I don't understand. It's
And how are you? Good morning.
Yeah. So Ken Paxton's going to end up winning his race, I think. Absolutely. And then Secretary Rubio.
I'm really pleased to be here today to continue to further advance President Trump's and the Prime Minister's vision for the future. It's a courageous path towards peace in the South Caucasus, solidified in Washington on the 8th of August of last year. And so I was honored to join the foreign minister here today to initial this bilateral agreement on the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity, or is known TRIP. This agreement marks the biggest step to date on making this historic route a reality, on advancing peace and on increasing prosperity in Armenia and frankly on the region. But our relationship is not simply limited to TRIP. We are building upon that in so many different ways, and it's a top priority of this administration. The president personally takes tremendous pride, not simply in TRIP, not simply in that, but in all of the other things we are continuing to build on. It is going to be an important part of his legacy of his second term as president, and we're here today to continue to work on that, which is why today, by renewing the Strategic Partnership Charter, it's an opportunity to outline the future of the U.S.-Armenia bilateral relationship and creating a new path for partnership and economic opportunity for Armenians and for Americans. To put it in very simple terms, we are laying the groundwork for the sort of economic engagement that allows Armenians to make money and find prosperity, and Americans to do the same and to do it together, which is one of the strongest ways to bind nations with one another. And always doing it in a way that respects your sovereignty as a nation, but in ways that are mutually beneficial. That's how bilateral relationship works the best, is when both countries see an advantage in working on things together. And where relationships become strategic is when you share a common vision for the future and realize that partnering with one another, you can help each other achieve that better future together. Finally, we also, on the memorandum of understanding on critical minerals, is also going to further enhance mutual prosperity. We see every single day all over the world, every visit I ever have, whether it's in Washington with a visiting delegation or in my travels, critical minerals, which is something no one talked about just 20 years ago, are now essential to all of the new technologies, all the innovations that are going to be required for the 21st century. Not just access to these minerals, but the ability to process and refine them to be usable goods is critical to the future for prosperity. And countries that are able to do that are going to be able to find economic independence and are going to be able to find themselves at the center of innovation in the 21st century. And those who lag behind are going to suffer for it. We are going to be able to work together to make sure that both of our countries, both of our economies are going to have reliable access to these critical minerals in a way that is not just financially beneficial to our countries, but also fuel that cycle of innovation that will be so critical to the 21st century. Let me just say that both yourself and the Prime Minister and your entire team here in Armenia are blazing the trail towards a brighter and more independent future for Armenia. And we're very happy to be here to show my support for their courage, my support for their vision, my support for their dedication, my support for their willingness to see for the future of their country what it takes to get there. And we're very happy and proud to be a part of it. And we can't wait to do more together. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Armenia does in the walls, quote unquote, Wall Street section. I do know that there's an interesting connection with Adam Schiff and Armenia. he has been dancing for money for them for years and years and years in California. So the community there is there's a very large Armenian community there. So I do know that there is a connection there. So there may be a reason for this being brought out at this time and being brought up at this time. And bilateral does mean that both in the benefit for the United States and for Armenia. I mean, there will be deals made with other countries as well. But the fact of the matter is that as this boils down, this is talking about the ability to do others. Let me see something here real quick. I don't know why this is on my screen. Why are you there? That's kind of weird. What exactly is that? Oh, okay, I see what it's trying to do. But why is that spot blank? See, it's got it like I'm typing a message, but I'm not typing a message. And it's like taking up this whole big space, making your guys' text to me, your chat to me, like a lot smaller than it should be. So, but all right, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's continue. The enriched uranium nuclear dust will either be immediately turned over to the United States to be brought home and destroyed, or preferably in conjunction and in coordination with the Islamic Republic of Iran, destroyed in place, or at another acceptable location with the Atomic Energy Commission or its equivalent being witness to this process and event. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. So he wants representatives from the United States, representatives of the Republic of Iran, okay, and the Atomic Energy Commission to all come together and get rid of this material. So gracefully, I just started a new song list on 28. If you go into my playlist, you'll see it there. But it only allowed me to. Oh, by the way, this is the woman who had my channel taken down right here. This lady right here, Latrice Allen. Remember, I showed you guys. I showed you guys a video of a woman and her kids in a store ripping off the store, right? And trying to get out the door and flipping out because the workers locked the doors and wouldn't let them out. They were waiting for the police to get there. All right. Well, I showed that. Yeah, she's on YouTube. Larissa Allen is her name. Okay. And so she wrote to YouTube and basically said, so she's trying to gain fame in comedy, but what stops you from being able to gain fame when somebody looks up your name and a video pops up of kids acting stupid, robbing a store with the mom. So, yeah, it was from the 26th of June of last year. Yeah, isn't that kind of funny how that works, right? Yeah, but that's her name. Latrice Allen is her name. Yeah. So, okay, I'll get to that afterwards. But if you go to my channel, so it's got the home. It should have the home button. It should have the videos. It should have the live, and then just click on the playlist there. And those are the songs that I've gotten loaded so far. So far I have 13. I have 13 over there. So, and that's all it would let me upload and be able to do this live today. So, but seeing that we're here, I might as well show you this one here that I did. This was for Memorial Day.
They came from the farms and factories, from dusty roads and little towns. Young men with trembling hands and hearts when the whole world was burning down. Some carried Bibles in their pockets. Some carried pictures from back home. And somewhere through the fire and thunder, they prayed they wouldn't die alone. They didn't fight for riches, they didn't fight for fame. They stood against the darkness when evil spoke its name. I am a soldier for the light, standing through the darkest night, with heaven's truth held deep inside, and fallen brothers by my side. We carry crosses, carry scars, beneath the stripes and beneath the stars. And we remember those who gave their lives so others could be saved. I am a soldier in the hands of God. On frozen shores and broken beaches, through smoke beneath the iron sky, they watched their brothers fall beside them, still marching forward through the cries. And every grave across the oceans, every white cross standing still, reminds us freedom wasn't given, it was bought through sacrifice and will. So don't forget the silence behind the marching song, because peace is born from courage when good men stand up strong. I am a soldier for the light, standing through the darkest night, with heaven's truth held deep inside, and fallen brothers by my side. We carry crosses, carry scars, beneath the stripes and beneath the stars. And we remember those who gave their lives so others could be saved. I am a soldier in the hands of God. Memorial Day ain't just barbecue or another long weekend gone. His name's carved into stone forever. His mother's praying after sons moved on. It's Arlington at sunrise, flag blowing in the rain. It's freedom paid in blood and tears, so truth could still remain. And maybe being a soldier now means standing for what's right, protecting love and innocence and keeping faith alive tonight. I am a soldier for the light, and I will not run from the fight. Not hatred, not revenge, not pride, but standing strong for truth and life. For every soul who gave it all, for every brother who still calls, we lift their memory to the sky and thank the Lord they stood that night. I am a soldier a soldier for the light in the army of God. In the army of God.
That was a hard one for me to make too. It really was. Because
you'd met Warrior at his gym.
You know, I think about all of those that I've known in my life that have served and died. I was thinking about every single one of them when I was writing that. And it took me a couple of weeks to actually write that one. It was about 3 weeks, you know. But like I said, there's 13 over there now on that playlist, and there'll be more as soon as I can upload some more. So we'll go from there. So, all right. It's you know, this happened as well yesterday. The Democrat Party put up this post here. It says, the Democrat, today we honor the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice to die in Trump's war with Iran. Deleted. They deleted the post. Remembering the Americans who died in Trump's war with Iran. You know, by this time in Afghanistan, we had lost hundreds. By this time in Iraq, we had lost thousands. In this time in Vietnam, we lost thousands. In this time in North Korea and South Korea, we lost thousands. In World War I and World War II, we lost thousands. Every person who signs that dotted line knows exactly why they sign it. They know the obligation and Americans trust that they understand what that obligation means.
Talk.
Yep. The Democrat Party just went full-blown Jane Fonda on the party. Yep. Full-blown. And then this was kind of an interesting conversation between Nino from Nino's Corner, Nino Rodriguez. Remember that first video I played of his? Remember when he first got started? We were about 3.5 years into this, and he came into the scene, and we even played some of his stuff for a little while there. But he's talking with 107.
What Tulsi's going to be releasing over the next many weeks before she leaves is information on the 2020 election. 2020, it's not over yet. And she's going to release everything. It's going to be absolutely psychedelic. You're going to think you've been on drugs when you hear all the stuff that's coming out. Stuff that we're going to release at this conference mid-June there in Vegas. It's going to absolutely, people's brains are going to explode as they learn more and more about what's gone on. And there'll still be plenty left. It's not every last thing. It is a lot of decisive stuff that will lead to other things further in the air. What Tulsi's going to be releasing over the next many weeks before she leaves.
So it could be interesting. It could be interesting. Yeah. So yeah, sorry the chat ain't bigger, guys. But a lot of people don't even know about 28 yet. So until the word gets out there, you might not see some regular faces that are normally in our chat. Sorry. Yeah. I'm paying for something that I did a year ago. Yeah. So, yeah, eventually people will catch up to us. Eventually, I think. So, all right. And then here's one for ABC News. Trump don't hold back, and I like that.
ABC fake news. First of all, congratulations. I don't take questions from ABC fake news after what you did with Stephanopoulos to the Vice President of the United States. I don't take questions from ABC fake news. Brian, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So what he's referring to when they cut off the Vice President, that was a guest on their Sunday show and went to commercial break instead of showing what his responses were. Yeah, he's just said, no. And then Michael Rappaport put this one out. I want to share this one with you. Here we go.
Is not great. Okay. I mean, it's bullshit.
Oh, poor thing.
But still not great.
They're after me. I wanted to be famous, and now they're after me.
They're after you, boy. They're up my ass. And I'll obviously get into it right now. I'll tell you all about it, but let me blast off real quick.
Woo! Oh, yeah.
We will free you, brother. Yeah, free me. Free me.
Get the fuck out of here.
Free me. I can't believe I'm saying that, but is not great. Okay? I mean, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So Michael Rappaport was having fun at the failed jockstrap model fitness instructor turned pro-racist, anti-Jewish, anti-American con man and nephew of his fat uncle, Cenk Junker, or whatever his name is, Uker. Hassan Piker is his name, has been dying for fame his entire chubby life. And now he's so famous, the feds are after him. Yeah. They're going after him. He's tried to start some shit. He's been a voice of division for a long time, and it's coming to it, and then and this is funny, in a stunning moment. All right, this is what's funny is this is well, let me play it first.
Says these people are dirty. Todd Blanche says we're lucky to have Trump involved in this. Kash Patel says I have a bat phone into the Oval Office. He has succeeded largely in turning DOJ and the FBI into political arms of his political operation. What still exists in the system to slow that down?
I think, as Liz mentioned, there's still a legion of professionals in the law enforcement environment, the Department of Justice, as well as the CIA and other places, the ones who are refusing to follow politically motivated prosecutions, those who are refusing to support any type of political activities on the part of the Trump administration that are inconsistent with the authorities, the responsibilities of the intelligence community, law enforcement community, and Department of Justice. So we have to rely on these individuals to stand up to their professional responsibilities, and also to the courts, to the judges, to those judges who in fact took an oath of allegiance to the law, not to a political party, not to a person. And, I'd like to think that there are still some members of Congress. Certainly, I'm looking for the Republicans who at one point had spoken out against Donald Trump and had spoken in support of the law, but they seem to have just totally caved. And I think, as has been said, what has happened to our institutions is really going to have longstanding damage to these institutions, to our system of justice.
Yeah. He calls it a legion of resistance. Code for anti-Trump deep state. We have to rely on these individuals to stand up. Yeah, he's saying they need people on the inside that can do their dirty work to keep these things from happening. But I don't think that that's going to happen. So, and then let's go here. This is Jeremy from Live from America TV.
Good morning, everybody. So the up Thomas Massey's ass, black pilling, woke, right, ignorant America last losers, and you know who they all are. They are now actually having a celebration all over social media. They're actually out there bragging that their guy who lost, and they're still crying about, is going to release all of the names that he knows on the Epstein list on the steps of Congress before he leaves, because the people of his own state rejected a loser who they don't want anymore. But I've been saying this for months. They've been calling Trump and the people of Trump's administration pedophile protectors. But wouldn't that be exactly what Thomas Massey is being by having knowledge of names of the Epstein list and never releasing them? As a matter of fact, him and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ro Khanna and Lauren Boebert and all of them, maybe they thought they were doing right at the time. They brought all of these Epstein victims out many, many times in front of cameras on the steps of Congress, talking about release the names, release the names, release the names. And anybody with common sense and half a brain would just tell you, if I was raped by men in powerful places and I had the courage to get behind congressmen and stand on the steps of the Capitol and say that they did it, but I don't have the courage to say who did it. So we're all just sitting here and we all know who did it, but nobody's saying it. Thomas Massey knows who did it, but isn't saying it. Marjorie Taylor Greene knows the names, but hasn't said them. Ro Khanna knows the names, but hasn't said them. Right? I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. For them to call President Trump a pedophile protector while they are threatening to release the names that they've known for months, if not years, that they would not have known without the Trump administration declassifying this stuff, releasing it and giving it to them, it's so hypocritical. These people are literal pedophile protectors. Thomas Massey is a pedophile protector who calls Donald Trump a pedophile protector. And his followers are eating it up. Eating it up. Oh, he's going to do it. He's going to release the names. Why doesn't he just release them now? Isn't that amazing? Always using it for a political tool. And he lost. Goes to show you how good at politics he is. Pedophile protector Thomas Massey.
Yep.
Massey's.
Yep. So I do want to jump over to here because I believe that they put up a new one. Yeah, to the top up here. Yep, to the top, to the top, to the top, to the top, to the top. Here we go. Oh, here we go. All right. Susan Kokinda. And this will give me time to go put some gas in the generator. I am just about out. So we'll see how much longer I can go. I don't think it's going to be much longer, though. Probably maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I think is about all I'm going to have left. So here we go.
At the end of one of his posts yesterday, President Trump said something almost unthinkable. I would like to thank thus far all of the countries of the Middle East for their support and cooperation, which will be further enhanced and strengthened by their joining the nations of the historic Abraham Accords. And who knows, perhaps the Islamic Republic of Iran would like to join as well. Now, my first reaction, and probably yours too, was, that's crazy. Then I took a beat and reminded myself of something I have to tell myself all the time. Donald Trump lives in the future. While he's engaged in the extremely tough real world of negotiations, which as of this moment are still in motion, he is operating from a completely new world, one where real physical economics and not geopolitical games govern the outcomes. He knows it, and so does the empire, which is why their American mouthpiece, the Council on Foreign Relations, just launched a new multi-year project entitled The Future of American Strategy. This project amounts to an admission that the empire's century-long project of subjugating America's policy to Britain's is over. But if you listen to the lineup of Trump's critics, whether they're the so-called liberal establishment or the neocon Neanderthals, you'd think Donald Trump had just flown a plane load of cash to the IRGC and surrendered to the Ayatollah. Mike Pompeo posted that the agreement would pay the IRGC to build a WMD program and terrorize the world, not remotely America first. What Pompeo and his perpetual war crowd don't want you to see is what is emerging. A world of sovereign nations led by the great powers, the United States, Russia, China, and India, forging new relations and new policies that can mark a genuine future of development and peace built on the American system principles. I'm Susan Kokinda. I've tracked the battle between the American system and the British imperial model for decades. And right now, the American system forces are advancing, and you have to understand that. So hit those like, subscribe, and share buttons so we can stay in touch and expand our reach. Here's what I'm going to cover today. First, how Donald Trump has taken the reins of global policy out of British hands using the one weapon they never saw coming, real physical economics. Second, why the CFR's new project is, in reality, an admission of defeat and what they accidentally revealed in the process. And third, how Russia, China, India, and the United States can shape a new world, and it's now coming into view. So go back to Pompeo's post and look at the response from White House Communications Director Stephen Chung. Mike Pompeo has no idea what the F he's talking about. He should shut his stupid mouth and leave the real work to the professionals. Well, Chung is certainly right about Pompeo, but it's more than a question of professionals. There's something fundamental at work here, and it's easy to miss if you're still trapped inside the old geopolitical framework. Now, if you look behind all the twists and turns of the military operation and the multi-layered diplomacy over Iran, you're going to find a principle that Trump has never deviated from. He doesn't run foreign policy on imperial geopolitical rules, where every nation is supposed to play its dutiful role in maintaining the globalist financial architecture. He operates on a completely different definition of hard power. Everyone assumes hard power means military and kinetic force. Well, we certainly demonstrated that in the opening phases of the Iran conflict. But there's another kind of hard power, and it's the kind that wins decisively. Go back to the December National Security Strategy. One sentence stands out above all others, and it starts in the section which talks about the importance of America's reindustrialization to our national security. It says, the future belongs to the makers, the builders, the producers. In other words, the world of real physical production, not the City of London, not the speculative markets, not the futures markets, not the choke points. This is the foundation of America's entire foreign policy. And in the Iran conflict, it played out with surgical precision. So start with America's energy independence. Because the United States is no longer reliant on Iranian oil, we could prosecute our strategy without restraint, no hesitation, no vulnerabilities. And then once the kinetic phase of the operation was largely complete, the administration closed Iran's oil spigot entirely. They shut off Iranian exports through the Strait of Hormuz. And once Iran's storage facilities were full, time ran out, which is where we are right now. But also look at the recent state visit to China to see this hard power through another lens. Marco Rubio made it clear in an interview where Sean Hannity kept trying to drag the conversation back into the old geopolitical framework. Rubio cut right through it.
The United States is very clear. We have to be able to make our own stuff. We cannot depend on China or any country for that matter for 100% of anything that we need. You know, when you depend on any other country for 100% of what you need, you're very vulnerable. The president's very committed to bringing back factories, bringing back industrial capacity of the United States, and diversifying where we get our rare earths, our critical minerals, our supply chains.
That's the thesis. Economic security is national security, and it's woven throughout the national security strategy and the national defense strategy. Every tariff, every trade negotiation, every policy decision flows from that single principle. And that flies directly in the face of the mission the Council on Foreign Relations was given nearly 50 years ago by the British. And they know it. But before I get to the CFR's new assignment, I want to point you to Promethean Action's free newsletter. What Donald Trump is doing, reviving the true American system of economics, is not in the lexicon of most political discussion. But without understanding that, you're going to be at the mercy of the narrative spinners and the panicans. So sign up for our free newsletter. The link is in the description. Now, in recent months, we've watched something remarkable. Imperial spokesmen like Canada's Mark Carney and imperial think tanks like Britain's Chatham House have been forced to concede in their own language that the post-war rules-based order and the so-called special relationship between Washington and London has been terminated by Donald Trump. Now the question has been handed to the CFR. Figure out what comes next. That's not an accident. The CFR was founded in the 1920s as the American sister organization to Britain's Chatham House. Its entire institutional history has been the management of America's foreign policy in service to the British. Now, the CFR's Rebecca Listener is coordinating the new project, and her background tells it all. She worked for Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the Kamala Harris campaign. But her shining moment was in the Biden White House, where she ran the NSC's Russia-Ukraine Tiger Team, the contingency planning cell for the war in Ukraine that has cost hundreds of thousands of lives. And now she's been handed the most important question in Washington. Where does American strategy go from here? Each contributor admits in their own way that the liberal international order, that's their branding for it, is over. But the contribution of Charles Kupchan, a veteran of Obama's NSC, who also studied at London's International Institute for Strategic Studies, stands out for uniqueness. His essay is entitled Between Two Orders, and it opens with a remarkable quote that comes from a 20th century Italian neo-Marxist, Antonio Gramsci. The crisis consists precisely in the fact that the old is dying and the new cannot be born. In this interregnum, a great variety of morbid symptoms appear. Catch that? the Council on Foreign Relations is quoting a Marxist to describe what they're living through. Well, the symptoms are only morbid if you're committed to preserving the imperial system, which Donald Trump definitively is not. Then Kupchin lets the cat out of the bag entirely. He says, reindustrialization is a delusion. The promised manufacturing revival produced by tariffs and industrial policy will not even come close to employing a sizable portion of the U.S. workforce. That's not a policy analysis. That's a desperate prayer that Trump's industrial revival can be stopped. And don't forget, it was the Council on Foreign Relations that wrote in 1977 that the controlled disintegration of the world economy is a legitimate objective. And the CFR knew exactly what tradition they were dismantling. They cited the father of the American system, Alexander Hamilton, by name, describing the ideas they opposed as those which, quote, were eloquently addressed by Hamilton in his Report of Manufactures of 1790, in which he expressed the opposition of American nationalists to their country's assuming the role of a raw materials exporter to Britain. That's what they launched controlled disintegration against, Hamilton's policies. And it is the tradition that Donald Trump is reviving. Because the CFR has always known that a sovereign, industrially productive America has no need for the City of London's financial architecture, no need for the managed wars and dependency that Chatham House and the CFR spent a century constructing, and that we saw in full display in the Middle East for decades, until Donald Trump and Operation Epic Fury. That's what they're calling morbid, the return of the American system. But it's even bigger than that. Look at the new constellation of forces arising out of President Trump's vision of foreign policy. New relationships which are grounded in the shared desire for real physical economic growth, which upsets the geopolitical world of scarcity and financial control that London has used for centuries. There are some very intriguing signs emerging. Start with Kirill Dmitriev, Vladimir Putin's chief economic envoy, who has also been directly and heavily involved in U.S. negotiations with Russia over Ukraine. He recently suggested joint U.S., China, Russia economic deals. He said, "We've really seen significant interest from a number of American investors to enter into Russian and Chinese projects, including in the energy sector." Now, Dmitriev's remarks came during President Putin's trip to China, which came immediately on the heels of President Trump's trip to China. Then there's this trial balloon calling for Trump, Putin, and Xi to meet in Yalta, floated by a Pakistani senator whose family ties go back to Mahatma Gandhi and the fight against British imperialism. He said, "At this moment, the world needs peace. And if we look at history, Yalta is the city of peace. Yalta is the place where peace spread from. These three must sit across the table, as has happened in history, and they must come up with a solution for peace." And right now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in India. He's conducted 3 days of extensive meetings with his Indian counterparts. And tomorrow he's going to be holding discussions with the Quad, India, the United States, Japan, and Australia. The theme of the press conferences and the agendas have been singularly focused on energy, on civilian nuclear cooperation, on strategic minerals. That is, on the physical foundations of a productive 21st century economy. This is not being framed by the administration as, quote, containing China. So you can start to see something emerging. New sets of relations between the United States, China, Russia, India, Japan, the major industrial powers on the planet. For more than 100 years, the empire has played major powers against each other so that no combination of forces could emerge with the strength to challenge the imperial financial architecture. And key to all of that was the suppression of the American system, which laid the basis for breaking free from the empire. That system has been unleashed by Trump's economic policies, and it is reshaping foreign policy. That's why Trump can say, perhaps the Islamic Republic of Iran would like to join the Abraham Accords, because in his framework, that sentence is not crazy. It's the logical endpoint of a policy in which economic development replaces geopolitical containment as its organizing principle. The CFR sees that future, and from their standpoint, it is indeed morbid. From our standpoint, it's the dawn of something the American system was always meant to become. But to bring that to fruition demands an informed citizenry. And that's what Promethean Action does, and your support will help us finish the job our founding fathers started 250 years ago. This has been your Monday Brief. Thanks for watching.
Please take a moment and subscribe to our free newsletter at PrometheanAction.com.
All right, and that was Susan Kokinda with Promethean Action. Yeah, so I wanted to make sure I covered them today because of the work that they were doing, and I thought that what she released there was pretty significant. And then, so 7 Afghan nationals are arrested, and I believe that this is in Norwich, in the UK. See, this is the thing that bothers me is why are they afraid to show the faces of these perpetrators? Okay? You know, stop hiding them. Okay? Stop hiding their faces. Give it for real or get out of the way. All right. Here's some older millennial. I haven't played any of his stuff in quite a while, have I?
CNN is about to be sued for more than $1 billion. The best part is CNN is almost certainly going to lose. I'll see this headline right here. I promise you, this headline does not do it justice. But it says CNN attacks man for saving women. CNN said he broke Sharia law under the Taliban. This story is fucking wild. We all know that in the pull out of Afghanistan, we left a ton of people behind. We didn't leave behind any actual American citizens. We left behind a ton of people that had aided us when we were there. People we had promised that we were going to get to safety. We just didn't. Well, a man named Zachary Young wasn't cool with that. So he created an organization whose only goal was to get women and children out of Afghanistan and out from under Taliban control. And he was really good at it. Problem was, nobody was financially supporting him. Nobody was financially backing what he was doing. So in turn, a lot of these people had to pay for him to be able to do this. CNN saw that, and not only did they try to vilify him, but they tried to make him sound like a human trafficker who was exploiting these people. They even accused him of sexual exploitation. The funny thing is, you normally couldn't sue for something like that, because the standard for being able to sue for defamation is like insanely high. Because the standard requires actual expressed malice. Normally, news companies are able to just say we were reporting on what we thought we knew. But not in this case, because Zach was able to actually get the internal communications from CNN. Alex Marquardt, the primary reporter, said in a message to a colleague that he wanted to nail this motherfucker, that the story would be Young's funeral. But when he said that, the editor responded, "Gonna hold you to that, cowboy." And Jake Tapper, when he ran the story on his show, The Lead, made a point to say that people were given no guarantee of safety or success. Hey, that's how all military operations work, homie. But even though they've repeatedly said what he's doing was a scam, at no point could they prove that. They have multiple messages from the editors admitting that they couldn't find any evidence of it. And another thing they found in Discovery, Digital decided not to publish a digital version from Alex. They told me it was because they would not answer the question, is this a scam? They wanted to say it was a scam. They repeatedly said it was a scam, and then they admitted they couldn't prove that. They didn't care because they wanted to nail this Zachary Young motherfucker. Believe it or not, it gets worse. So in their defense, CNN then switched it up, saying that he wasn't violating international law or U.S. law. No, they said he was violating Sharia law. CNN literally said the rescuing of women and children from under the Taliban control violated Sharia law. And that's why they were saying he was a criminal. They're actually claiming that they had a right to go after Zachary Young because he was violating Islamic religious law by rescuing women who were part of families that supported the United States and were very likely going to be captured, tortured, and probably raped. Zachary Young was violating the Taliban's Sharia law. And because he was violating Sharia law, CNN had a right to go after him. So an American news agency is attacking an American man for rescuing Afghani women and children because saving them from the captured, torturing, rape that they were going to be subjected to violated the Taliban's Sharia law. These motherfuckers just got to host a presidential debate.
There's something to it. There's something to it, you know. So, did I see who get arrested? Did I see who got arrested? I'm not doing anything until I see who got arrested. Really? I didn't know. I did not see that. I did not see it. What did he get arrested for? Oh, Samson, why you got to be laying out in the rain, buddy? Come on. And you're going to want to jump up on my bed. Yeah, look at you. You're already getting up and walking this way. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to come in and come here. I'll dry you off and you can jump up on the bed and take a nap up there instead, okay? Come on. Come on, big boy. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Well, you're gonna go over there and lay down all soaking wet instead of letting me dry you off. I feel like a redheaded stepchild sometimes. I swear I do. I do. I fucking. Up your head there, Guinevere. Go check on your baby. Go hang out with your baby, so he knows Mama still loves him. Yeah. All right. Yeah, no, I didn't know that he got arrested. You learn something new every day. You do. You do. Let's see. He was running from warrants and they caught him. Oh, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. The White House are briefing religious leaders. Well, there's more of this going on. So let's see what they got to say today.
Yes, sir, I do. And I think they may well be considering doing that. There's a lot of speculation. I'm hearing it from people inside the administration that the Trump administration is indeed soliciting advice about how to tell the public that we're not alone. There are consultations taking place with spiritual leaders. I'm now able to confirm that. There was some speculation a couple of weeks ago about a group of pastors, but it turned out that wasn't directly related to the White House. But there are religious leaders that have been consulted by the White House. I'm aware of people in the administration who've reached out. I've actually spoken to people myself who've asked what I think would be the, quote, ontological shock for the public. And I've told them that, frankly, I think the bigger shock for the public would be the sense of a betrayal of trust if the government doesn't follow through and tell the whole story. Yes, sir, I do. And I think they may well be...
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes on over these next weeks. And then, let's see. All right, here we go.
I'm going to say this shit, and I don't give a fuck who cries in the comments. It's about to get real. I'm done apologizing for being white. I didn't own slaves. I didn't write Jim Crow. I didn't redline shit. I was born in the 1980s to a middle-class family that had to work for everything. I worked 50-plus hours a week, pay my taxes, and I'm still told I'm the villain. Every day it's check your white privilege, do a land acknowledgement, post the black square, feel guilty for something I had zero to do with. No fucking way. My great-grandparents came off a boat from Germany with nothing. I've got black people in my family tree, and nobody in my bloodline ever owned a slave. You want a fucking apology? Dig up the dead. You want money? Call Congress, or better yet, fucking work for it like everybody else has to. I'm not your emotional punching bag, and I'm sure as hell not your ATM because my skin is lighter than yours. And let's be real, people who never pick cotton want a check from people who never owned a plantation. That's not justice, that's a shakedown. And these sniveling liberal white apologists crying online for sins they didn't commit, you're not brave, you're a fucking embarrassment. You apologize when you fuck up, not for history you weren't alive for. I'm sick of being told it's a crime to be a straight white man in this country. I go out of my way to treat people with respect until they give me a reason not to. I'm done bending the knee. I'm done whispering. I'm done disappearing into the background so you fucking feel comfortable. I'm picking my side. I'm not guilty. I'm not sorry. I never was. You can fucking stay mad. If you're done apologizing too, drop a comment below.
All right. There we go. Yeah. What he said. What he said, what he said, what he said. Mm-hmm. Just saying. And then here
Our Vice President Vance will hold a roundtable with state attorneys general on anti-fraud initiatives. This comes as the Trump administration cracks down on a wide range of fraud. We will bring that event to you live when it happens. But for now, America Reports.
A live look at the White House now ahead of a rare and critical cabinet meeting happening at Camp David tomorrow. It comes as tensions rise after the U.S. carried out defensive strikes in southern Iran. Welcome to America Reports as we kick off a brand new week. I'm Sandra Smith in New York. Bill, good to have you here today.
Hey, Sandra, as always, great to be with you. Happy Tuesday afternoon to you. I'm Bill Malugin in Washington today. John Roberts is on assignment. All eyes are now on how Iran will respond to these attacks.
Our Vice President Vance will hold a roundtable with...
And I'm telling you, I'm concerned about this Camp David thing. I am concerned a little bit. Yeah. All right. Okay.
That state's plan to use a new congressional map has been blocked by a judge that could have helped Republicans pick up more House seats, giving the party perhaps an advantage in the midterms. The state will have to use the current maps, at least for now. Alabama could appeal the ruling. Many states have to the U.S. Supreme Court. We'll see whether or not that is the next action taken. Stand by. That state's plan to use a new congressional map has been
blocked. And this is crazy. Yeah. So that's happening in Alabama. Yeah, and then a Florida judge denied a Democrat request to block the state's new map, which flips 4 Democrat House seats to Republicans. It's now fully on track to go into effect for 2026 midterms. Yeah, and let's see, was there anything else? I covered that. Getting a green card may have gotten just a little bit harder. Yeah.
For non-citizens living in Minnesota and elsewhere, getting a green card, becoming a lawful permanent resident, may have gotten just a little bit harder.
What is this going to mean for a lot of folks who are trying to just stay in the United States?
It is a potentially seismic shift in how this process is done.
That new memo by the Trump administration requires foreigners who want a green card to leave and apply in their home country. Formerly, applicants could do that in the U.S. Legal experts say the change could have a big impact on the 10 to 15,000 people in Minnesota seeking green cards.
At every floor, at every stage, they're tightening up everything. They're turning over old legal rocks that haven't been looked under in 40 years.
U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says non-immigrants like students, temporary workers, or those with tourist visas come to the U.S. for a short time and a specific purpose. The agency says, quote, our system is designed for them to leave when their visit is over. Their visit should not function as the first step in the green card process.
What's different about this now? What's the change?
Immigration law professor Anna Patratz-Acosta says essentially it's a tightening of the rules. In some cases, U.S. CIS officers might allow interviews here, but she says there is a litmus test.
Have you not committed any crimes? Have you paid your taxes? Are you generally a good person and you're not going to be a burden on the country?
Yep. Sending them back sending them back to their own countries and wait for their approval. I think that's a great idea. I do. So just in, it's official. South Carolina Senate rhinos have ended the 2026 redistricting map, where Republicans would have gained a 7 Republican, 0 Democrat map, 18 to 26. Primary, every Republican, just like Indiana, who betrayed the movement and just helped Democrats. They all must go. Yeah, 17 of them. Yep. All right. Perfect bill of health. We already told you about that one. And then here goes another Freedom News. Yeah, bunch of fucking idiots. That's all they are. Yeah. And then Trump says, stay with the deplorables. You'll love how this ends. And this is from post 4095. All right. The United States is a constitutional republic that uses democratic elections to elect its leaders and representatives, but it is not and was never intended to be a pure or direct democracy. This distinction is deliberate and rooted in the founders. Is the whole thing there? See, Operation Trust was a Soviet counterintelligence operation from 1921 to 1927 to design trick anti-Bolshevik groups into believing the Communist Party had been infiltrated and weakened. The KGB created fake resistance networks, sending coded messages. Oh, Jesus. These people sometimes. Yeah. So, and then I don't even want to listen to that tone deaf crap. It's, and I only got time for a couple more here because we're getting short on having stuff to be able to operate with. So, okay, here we go.
We start with Iran. First, let me tell you about my weekend. On Sunday morning, I appeared on CNN's State of the Union program with Jake Tapper. We discussed Iran. At that point, news of a possible deal with Iran to end the war was trickling out, and some prominent Republican voices were publicly freaking out about the supposed details. One of the ideas that had been floated, erroneously I might add, was that the Trump administration would be paying money or giving sanctions relief to Iran up front before any guarantees were secured on nuclear weapons. I want you to take a listen to my response to that in cut number 1.
It's Ted Cruz, it's Mike Pompeo. What do you, and earlier Tom Tillis, what do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't get ahead of the president on it. And what I've heard Secretary Rubio say this morning is that the administration, the president, would never sign off on a deal that didn't have an end result of his principal objective, which is no nuclear weapons for Iran. That's the number one issue. That's what they've engaged in this activity for. So I'd be shocked if they don't have a way to get to an ultimate scenario where Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. And if Iran is serious about that, that's great. I'm dubious. I don't know if we'll ever have peace with these people. I mean, they chant death to America. I don't think they're going to wake up one day and decide that that was wrong and changed their minds about that. So calling this a peace deal, to me, what you're trying to put in place is a situation where you have a security situation and a monitoring situation to keep them from ever being able to actually bring death to America. That's why I think the mission was righteous in the first place. So for me, number one issue, no nuclear weapons for Iran. I hope we get there. So after that appearance, I was headed home to Kentucky, and I received a call from the White House asking if I wanted a high-level briefing on the situation. Of course, I accepted the invitation, and I listened to a senior administration official lay out the facts and the Trump position, at least as it stood on Sunday. Here's the first thing I learned. I should tell you, by the way, this was a senior administration official who is in the know, someone who is in the room. This was a serious person who is in a position to know what's going on. The point of the briefing was to stress the following, that the administration was not paying anything to Iran. The only sanctions relief or financial incentives for Iran would come, the official stressed, only after Iran met its commitments on turning over enriched uranium. The official stressed over and over, if Iran fails to live up to its commitments on giving up nuclear ambitions, it would get nothing at all. The bottom line from the official was to make a deal that lowers costs for Americans, calms world energy markets, and guarantees that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon over the long term. The official stressed that we aren't there yet and that several days could pass before we get there, and this whole thing could still fall apart. Here's some other notes that I received in the briefing. The senior administration official said there would be a good deal or no deal at all, and that's something that Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, reiterated on the record this morning. Take a listen to that, cut number 2.
The president's expressed his desire to make it. He's either going to make a good deal or no deal. So, not everyone should be sure, but that may take a little while. It'll be a few more days.
The senior official did say, and I'm going to quote here, that Iran's ability to project power is a lot more limited than it was 2 months ago. And he said that their industrial base for building ballistic missiles has been substantially destroyed. The official also said to be leery of propaganda that's floating around out there. There's a lot of stories that are being floated, sometimes by hardliners in the Iranian government, in an attempt to kill the ongoing negotiations. He specifically cited the IRGC doing this in a story that appeared in Reuters last week. So now, listeners, you know what I know. As of this morning, the U.S. says the ceasefire remains in place, but there has been some firing. The U.S. sank 2 Revolutionary Guard ships that it said were laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran responded by launching surface-to-air missiles at U.S. planes, which prompted the U.S. to attack the missile launchers from whence the Iranian ordnance came. So we wait and we watch, and the principal message from the White House remains, no nukes for Iran and no bad deals for the sake of doing them. And just a few minutes ago, this came across the transom here. According to the Wall Street Journal, the U.S. Navy has restarted assisting vessel crossings through the Strait of Hormuz. That's according to U.S. military officials. The officials have told the Wall Street Journal that a Greek supertanker laden with 2 million barrels of crude was guided by the U.S. Navy as it crossed the waterway off the Omani coast. Oh, speaking of Rubio, by the way, he spent the weekend in India, and he has something to show for it. The U.S. and India have signed a new critical minerals framework designed to reduce dependence on hostile foreign monopolies, especially China, while boosting cooperation on mining, processing, and investment. The Trump administration says more than $30 billion in public and private support is already being mobilized for critical mineral projects around the world. Rubio is now in Armenia, tying up diplomatic arrangements there. It's a working holiday for the Secretary of State. Other news, the Democratic National Committee is under fire from its own party members for a disgusting Memorial Day post, which the DNC was forced to delete, used the memory of fallen soldiers to attack President Trump, prompting Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, a combat veteran and a Democrat herself, to call it, quote, incredibly distasteful. The post was deleted, but the political impulse to sully the names of American heroes for cheap political points should be noted by all of us. Another Democrat, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, took to social media on Memorial Day as well. He asked people to remember George Floyd. Not our troops, not the people who gave their lives in service to America. That's who Memorial Day is for, but George Floyd. Now, Mayor Fry is getting ripped apart on social media for it, as he should. Democrats are launching new television ads in their quest to win the November midterms, and the topic, the Epstein files. Democrats are smearing Republicans in numerous states and districts with Epstein-related material. I should note for you, this is just as President Trump predicted. Democrats never cared about the Epstein case or his victims. It is all for politics, it seems now. Oh, here's something to discuss. Daylight savings time. We brought you this story last week. President Trump has endorsed the idea of going to permanent daylight savings time. The bill to do that overwhelmingly passed out of a House committee last week. But since then, the pushback is growing louder, and there's another side to the debate that we should be locking in standard time, not daylight savings time. And it's been pointed out that we tried this once before. Does anyone remember the experiment with permanent daylight savings in the 70s? It was signed into law by Nixon in 74. Experiment lasted for 2 years. People hated it because it was dark in the morning for kids who were going to school. I put up a poll on my social media, at Scott Jennings, KY on the X platform. Vote and leave your comment. The debate is raging over daylight versus permanent time, at Scott Jennings, KY.
Yeah, interesting, right? Interesting. All right. Well, I think it's time for a safety meeting. Yeah, I think it's that time. I do.
Spent all morning cleaning out 30 years of dust and doubt. Cough cold beside the sink. Too many memories left to think. Old receipts and rusted keys. Pictures blowing in the breeze. Thought I'd smoke my last good one. Mercy hit me like the sun. Bottom of the Norwood drawer was a little piece I missed before. That Willie's Reserve gonna call my moon. Lit me up like a good Lord. Slow burn fire and a grateful buzz. Thanking heaven for the life that was. Smoke rolling through the evening light. Old man smiling, feeling alright. Ain't got much, but I got enough. A little bit of green and a whole lot of love. That with his reserve gonna ease my soul like country music on no back road. Some folks chase gold, but this is what it does. Turns hard times into a grateful buzz.
There it does.
Outside watching daylight fade, listening to the blue jays sing in the shade. Dog stretched out beside my chair. Mountain wind blowing through the air. Life ain't been no easy ride. Lost some things I still can't hide, but every scar and every bruise makes these quiet moments feel like truth. Funny how small this things can make a time all sing. And now Willie's Reserve gonna call my mood. Lit me up like the good Lord. Slow burn fire and a grateful buzz. Thanking heaven for the life that was. Smoke rolling through the evening light. Old man smiling, feeling alright. Ain't got much, but I got enough. A little bit of green and a whole lot of love. Yeah, that Willie's Reserve gonna ease my soul like country music on no back road. Some folks chase gold, but this is what it does. Turns hard times into a grateful buzz. Maybe peace ain't something bought. Maybe it's the lessons taught by old farm roads and smoky skies, and learning how to simplify. Yeah, Willie's Reserve gonna calm my mood like an old porch prayer carved in the wood. Slow burn glow and a grateful buzz. Still believing in the life I love. Moonlight rising on my pines, thankful just to be alive tonight. One old farmer still standing tough with faithful dogs and a grateful buzz. Yeah, the world moves fast, but I don't rush. Found a little peace in a forgotten crush. And if tomorrow comes, well, brother, because tonight I'm living on a grateful buzz.
Even got the logo in there. You see that? We got the logo into it. It was that was the one thing when I was doing the images. It kept ChatGPT kept that, and so I feed in a couple of images that I have, and then I say, this is what I want you to make me do, and he does it up, right? And it kept saying, and your logo, and your logo, and your logo. And I wasn't thinking about it when he was asking me that, because it's been asking me that since I started generating images on these. But it was like the one that I did on the Book of Enoch called The Watchers. I wouldn't have put it onto that one. You know, ones that have particular stories like that, I wouldn't do. But the ones that have to do with weed and with God, yeah, that's another story. Those we can add in there. I don't have a problem with doing that. That's actually, you know, not a bad idea. I had fun writing that song, and I found what I found in the bottom of that drawer too. I'm just saying, it was well worth. Finding this bag. Mm-hmm. That bag right there. It was worth finding that bag. Okay. Just cause. All right. Just cause. Yep. So, all right. So that's all I can do for you today. Again, I'm short on fuel right now. So, until I can raise the funds, it might be a day or two before I'm back with you. So as soon as I can raise some money, get some things that need to get done, because StreamYard's got to get paid too. Yeah, either tomorrow or the day after, depending on what happens here. Remember, a lot of what we're seeing is smoke. Okay. A lot of what we're seeing for everybody's benefit, okay, is smoke. Okay. And it's us who are planting the seeds. Okay. It's us who are planting the seeds, and it's important that we remember that. Every seed that we plant, getting people to think and talk about different topics and things like that, you know, that's where we want to go. That's where we want this to go. We want open debate without a whole bunch of anger and bullshit and everything else screwed in it. You know, let's learn and find things in great wonder, because that's what he's there for. Shows us something new all the time. But right now, we're going through the process of showing us the old, those that have been stabbing us in the back for generations. And I mean generations. So that's not a couple of years. That's a lot of years. We were screwed. Our parents were screwed. Our grandparents were screwed. Just those 3 generations alone should be enough to make you stop and think about whether you want the next generation to actually be better. And the only way that that can happen is what we're doing. So I will be reposting that interview with Jason. I will be putting that back up on this one. I've just got to get it downloaded off of the StreamYard thing here, and I will repost that on my channel. And you guys should check out the schedule for We Not Me. Okay. Jason does some good stuff. And what's the one thing, he's not a YouTube fan. Okay. But he's not going to tell you not to go to YouTube. You know what I mean? He's not going to do that. He's not going to tell you not to go to Facebook. He's not going to tell you not to go to X, because it was when I said to them, that we actually had somebody, that yelled at you guys for staying on YouTube. Well, we were told not to leave the battlefield, and we didn't, and we haven't, and we're still here. Even after somebody having a channel that we kept almost squeaky clean for a whole year. 27 was the longest time for any of the channels that we've had, except for the one with the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. I believe that's 24. And we stopped using that channel the next day. Remember, we changed that channel because we didn't want to lose that channel. We didn't want to lose that, that podcast. And that's what's crazy is, I try to download as many of these things as I can, but I'm running out of space. So these hard drives are almost completely full. Don't have much room left on them. So eventually I'll have to get another one if we're going to have continue to have more history in the works here. But I think 3 5 terabyte hard drives have taken quite a beating over these last years. Some of his podcasts do last for hours. He's a prime example of squirrel. Absolutely. Squirrel. It's a topic change and everything. But the thing is that he might be a mess, but he is one of the most knowledgeable messes that I've had the pleasure of being able to hang out with. Yeah, absolutely. Because with all the knowledge that's in there, it's actually better sometimes that you get it in increments instead of getting that download all at one time like he does. And it gives your brain a chance to really process things and then just add more, he's absolutely, every bit worth the time. And we're going to be doing more. As a matter of fact, I think I'll be joining them one of these days this week. Another reason to make sure I got gas. Because during the summertime, until it gets hot, I don't have to worry about running too much in here. But I do got to worry about using my cooking oven and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, other than that, yeah, God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. And until I see you again, what do we say? I said, what do we say? What do we say? Do I need to remind you? I need to remind you. Okay. Well,
this morning to a world on fire. Everybody shouting, climbing walls of wire. Fear on the TV, lies across the screen. Hard to know these days what anything means. But I hear my Father's voice down in my soul. Stand up straight, don't let the darkness take control. Love your neighbor, hold the line, stay alive. Open up your eyes and let your spirit drive. Don't let the noise pull you under. Don't lose your heart in the thunder. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Little old lady waving from a porch swing. Kids on the sidewalk still learning to dream. Somebody praying in the middle of pain. Somebody dancing in the pouring rain. There's still good people helping strangers stand. Still working hard with calloused hands. Still holding family, still holding faith. Still finding hope when it all feels late. Don't let the fear define you. There's still a fire inside you. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes on the light. There's still love in the middle of the fight tonight. When the road gets narrow and the world feels cold, keep your heart wide open and never let go. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Oh, don't forget who you are. You were made from the dust and the stars. Oh, even when shadows fall, love is still the strongest thing of all. Keep your head on a swivel, don't lose your grace. Every scar tells a story, every soul has a place. And if somebody stumbles, you help them stand tall. That's the kind of strength that can heal us all. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith alive. There's still hope for tomorrow as long as we try. Yeah, the world may change, but love remains, and that's how we survive.